Hello, it's Jen K here from A Fragrant Offering. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my April fragrance tray. Here you can see the perfumes that I had out in the month of March. In January of 2025, I started with 16 fragrances out on my monthly tray, and each month since then I've been swapping out about half of them to reflect the changing seasons and certain of my personal favorites. Today I'll be swapping out 8 of these perfumes, and some of them have been out on the tray since the beginning of the year. I have decided that it is time to put away all 4 of these taller fragrances on the mirror tray. So the first one here is La Belle by Jean-Paul Gaultier. I don't really have any scent memories associated with this one, but every time I wear it, I can't stop sniffing it because it is really so beautiful. It's a simple fragrance with pear, vetiver, and vanilla. So it's very sweet, dessert-like pear, but then the vetiver gives it a bit of woody undertones. I start to feel overwhelmed when I get too many fragrances in my collection. I like to be able to wear and enjoy wearing everything that I have. So I probably will be passing some on because I'm getting up around 100 and that's too many for me. But this is one that I definitely will be keeping. I do enjoy wearing it. So I'm curious about you. What size perfume collection do you think is right? Leave a note in the comments below. Here we have Good Fortune by Viktor and Rolf. I actually picked this one up on clearance this year and am trying to decide whether I want to keep it or not. It is actually a really beautiful fragrance. What leaves me on the fence about this one is that it actually smells very similar to Angel Elixir, which I also picked up recently. Both of them came out in 2023 and Anne Philpott worked on both of them. So there's something in the jasmine and sandalwood vanilla of both of them that is very similar. This one has more of an incensey top note, so it is very nice, very beautiful. I'm just not sure if I need both of them in my collection. But there's a good chance that I'll keep this one just for the bottle. It is really pretty. Do you ever keep fragrances just for the bottle? All right, here we have Black Orchid by Tom Ford. This is the EDT version, and this one has been out on my tray all year. It is a favorite, but it's pretty strong, so I think it's time to go ahead and retire it for the spring and summer. When I was first starting my fragrance journey, I got a sampler from Ulta Beauty, and this was one of the samples that was in there. It always just captured my attention, so I ended up picking up a full-size bottle when I found it one time on sale. It's oriental floral and kind of earthy. Coming up here, we have Sama by PearlaNera. Fun story. This was one of the first bottles, full-size bottles of perfume that I was ever gifted by a brand. They sent a sampler packet with a lot of their perfumes, and I got to choose my 2 favorites, and this is one that I chose. As a fragrance lover, it's always super excited to be included in PR campaigns like this. This one is an oriental fragrance. It's woody aromatic. It has leather and musk and cinnamon and pink pepper. And it's one that I do believe gets better with time. It's such a cozy, comforting scent, and I'll often wear this one to bed at night. Now I get to choose 4 of my taller fragrances to go on the mirror tray here. Here we have Carolina Herrera, Very Good Girl. This is a floral fruity fragrance, perfect for spring. It has top notes of lychee and red currant. Mid notes are rose, and then it has vanilla and vetiver in the base. It's a 2021 fragrance, and it was created by Quentin Bish, who also created Delina by Parfums de Marly. So it does actually have a lot of similarities with that one. I like pretty perfume bottles, but I think at the end of the day, I am a little bit more traditional, and so sometimes this feels a bit gimmicky to me. So here we have Bianca by PearlaNera. This is the second full-size bottle that I picked up as part of their PR campaign. It is an oriental spicy perfume. It has top notes of almond, mid notes of jasmine, and then coffee, tonka, and coca in the base. What I love about these fragrances is that they have a very light and airy quality about them that makes them easy to wear. The brand was trying to blend Arabic and Western perfume or fragrance notes in this collection, and I think they've done a really good job of that. Bianca is an airy, sweet fragrance. Kind of in some way reminds me of Cloud or Baccarat Rouge 540, just kind of that airy sweetness. Very easy to wear. I am going to swap out for another Jean Paul Gaultier this month, and this is Classique Essence. This is a discontinued fragrance, but is maybe my favorite of the two between this and La Belle. This is a bold but beautiful white floral fragrance. It has some ginger in the top notes, which gives it a little bit of spiciness and freshness and a little bit of citrus, and then there's orange blossom and jasmine in the mid notes, and then it's got whipped cream and vanilla, benzoin, cashmere wood, so it's very creamy and beautifully blended. This one and La Belle are actually the only two Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances that I've ever tried. Here we have Bois d'Iris by Van Cleef and Arpels. First off, I think this is such a beautiful classic bottle, and then the scent is just a powdery vanilla iris fragrance that I really enjoy wearing. This one was a blind buy for me several years ago off of FragranceNet. I had heard other people's reviews of it and thought it would be something that I would enjoy, and it was a good purchase. It is something that I enjoy wearing a lot. I do have a travel size of the Orchid Vanille by this brand, and so they do have a similar vanilla DNA that I really enjoy. I feel like if you enjoy that one, you also probably would enjoy this one as well. While I swapped out these four, the four here on this top I plan to keep and roll over into April. So the first one I'm rolling over is Clean Reserve Skin by Clean Beauty Collective. I actually found this in one of the Sephora sampler sets back in 2023, and then I was able to choose one that I could get a full-size bottle, and I chose this one. It is a beautiful musky skin scent. Easy everyday wear. I'll even wear it sometimes to work because it's so light. And if I did have a signature scent, this certainly would be high in the running for that. Up next we have Garden by Dolce & Gabbana. I blind bought this fragrance in 2020 off of FragranceNet. And I did like it when I first got it. And then one day when it was really humid outside, I wore it and it was just stifling and kind of overpowering, very sweet. So I put it away for a while, but then I've pulled it out the last couple years in the spring season, and I do really love it. It has top notes of magnolia, mandarin, orange, neroli, mid notes of coconut, frangipani, and ylang ylang, and then in the base it has vanilla, almond milk, and sandalwood. Feels like a fancy beach vacation. I've also thought in the past that there's something almost maternal and comforting about this one. I'll be keeping it out from last month. A brand I was introduced to through my Instagram page is Bon Parfumeur, and they kindly gifted me this fragrance, 106. I was allowed to choose one from their site that I thought I would enjoy, and this one did not disappoint. This is a rose, pink pepper, sandalwood, and vanilla fragrance. In some ways, it reminds me of Delina, but I do feel it's easier to wear for me. There's a little bit of a powdery undertone to this one. I always think there's something very sophisticated and formal about this fragrance, and I will be keeping it out on my tray again this month. I also plan to keep Coco Mademoiselle out another month. This is a classic fragrance. I think everyone should at least try it once in their life. When I wear it, it lasts for a very long time. I'll catch whiffs hours later in the day. Definitely feel like it lasts all day. It's a wonderful signature scent type fragrance. It's professional and clean. I could see wearing it to an important job interview. Sometime when maybe you feel like you need a little bit of extra confidence. I really enjoy wearing this perfume. And this shelf is always a little bit hard to get fragrances in and out of, but I like using this tray in my closet because it kind of makes it easy to store things. Here we have Fame by Paco Rabanne. I had picked this one up at Ulta Beauty on a sale, and it was one that I had tested a sample and really enjoyed, but since I've gotten it, I haven't really enjoyed wearing it. Also, the bottle is a little bit gimmicky, so I don't know if you like things like that or not. And when I say that I don't really enjoy it, it's not that it's not a beautiful fragrance. It's just, it doesn't wow me when I wear it, and I have a lot of other fragrances that I enjoy wearing a lot more. So I am thinking about posting this one to Mercari for resale. And here we have Mon Guerlain by Guerlain, the original EDP version. This is also a classic feminine fragrance. Along with Coco Mademoiselle, I do think it's a fragrance that every woman should try at least once in her life. However, between the two of them, I probably do reach for Coco Mademoiselle a little bit more than this one, but it may be that I also have a lot of different flankers of this one, so for different occasions, I'm reaching for different of my Mon Guerlains. This is an amber woody fragrance. There's lavender and bergamot in the top notes. I think the lavender gives it a bit of a warm hug and comfort. And then there's iris, jasmine, sambac, and rose in the mid notes. And then what really comes through is the Tahitian vanilla. In the base, there's sandalwood, benzoin, licorice, and patchouli. I think this really is a mass-pleasing and easy-to-like fragrance, and I will be keeping it out on my tray. Sunshine by Amouge is one of the few niche fragrances that I do own. I picked it up on scale on FragranceNet back in 2022. It was a blind buy purchase, but I did listen to a lot of reviews before I picked it up, and I really enjoy this fragrance. It kind of makes me want to try more of their perfumes, but I'm also scared to because I hear very mixed reviews on some of them. This one has almond in the opening, and then there's a white tobacco in the base, and it's a little bit spicy. It's an amber floral, and it always just feels really warm and comforting to me. I think maybe it's the tobacco note. I enjoy wearing this one to bed. It is very long lasting, and I'll be keeping it out for my April tray. This is a fragrance that I think is really underrated. It's Le Parfum Royale by Elie Saab. I had done FragranceNet's Purple Luxe subscription one year where you get a 10 ml spray fragrance sample every month. And I got the original Le Parfum, and I really did enjoy it, but I actually enjoy this one, and I have the Le Parfum in white in full size, and I like them more. I am not sponsored by FragranceNet, but I did pick up a lot of my perfumes through them. They have good prices on some older fragrances. This is a Chypre floral, and it has orange blossom. This line is known for its orange blossom, but then there's also rose, amber, vanilla, sandalwood. It's an evening floral, I would say. I'm just gonna pop these three back into the tray again for the month of April. And then this last one I'm going to put in the middle layer is the Elie Saab Le Parfum in white. And it's also a Chypre floral. But where Royale, I feel, is more of a nighttime floral, this one is kind of a daytime floral. So I could see wearing this fragrance to a wedding, a daytime outdoor, lots of flowers. It's a really beautiful fragrance with top notes of orange blossom, red berries, mandarin orange, bergamot, and then it has jasmine and peach in the midtones, and then in the base there's white amber, white musk, patchouli, benzoin, vanilla. It's a really beautiful fragrance, and I look forward to wearing it again this month. From the month of March tray, I have Shalimar by Guerlain. This is the EDP version. It's an amber spicy fragrance. I did pick it up on FragranceNet in 2020. It was a blind buy. I would not recommend blind buying it unless you know that you like powdery vintage fragrances. I really enjoy this one, and I'll often wear it at nighttime to sleep. It has citrus on the top, and then there's iris and vetiver, jasmine in the mid notes, and then like a leathery vanilla musky base. And it really does feel vintage and old-fashioned to me. But as the weather gets warmer, there's other fragrances I want to wear, so I will be putting this one away for a few months. I had YSL Black Opium on my tray last month as well. It's a coffee vanilla fragrance, a little bit of fruit, pear and pink pepper in the opening, amber vanilla, another classic, but also one that while it feels good, it's not a fragrance that I crave a lot. So I think I'm keeping it in my collection for now because it is a classic and not because it's a favorite necessarily, although it is a beautiful perfume. This is a sweet fragrance, and then another sweet fragrance that I have is Girl of Now by Elie Saab. I've had this one since 2021, and I bought it after I had the sample from the Purple Luxe subscription. It is really beautiful. In fact, I dropped my first bottle and broke the sprayer and bought a second bottle, but now I find myself not reaching for it as much. It's really sweet, and there's other sweet fragrances that I prefer to reach for first. It has an opening of pear. In the mid notes, there's almond, orange blossom, magnolia, and then there's almond milk, tonka bean, cashmerean, and patchouli in the base. And it is kind of delicious and addictive, warm and cozy. Very beautiful fragrance. But like I said, I often find myself reaching for other ones before this. This final one here is Gucci Bloom. This one is really special to me. I used to struggle a lot with florals and didn't think that I really enjoyed white florals, and this is just a very straightforward jasmine, tuberose, Rangoon creeper, white floral fragrance. For me, it's reminiscent of the smell of honeysuckle in the late spring, early summer. I always really enjoy it. When I wear it, the scent lasts a long time, and it's definitely a favorite of mine. So I will be keeping it out for the month of April as well. New to my tray in the month of March is Q Intense by Dolce & Gabbana. This will be my second one from them on the tray this month. I haven't been purchasing a lot of fragrances recently. I've had a lot of brands send me complimentary perfumes, but I did go discount shopping at TJ Maxx and Marshall's in January this year, and I found this one and was excited to smell it and see what it was like. And it's one I actually really enjoy, so I think I'll keep it in my collection. It has opening notes of Sicilian lemon, orange, and jasmine, and then it has black cherry and heliotrope in the mid notes, and amber and woody notes in the base. And because it's the intense version, it is a bit stronger. And I am really excited to give this one more of a wear test and see what kind of scent memories I can make with it. Okay, that one's going to be too tall to go in the bottom row, so I'll have to put it up here in the middle row. I always get excited when I pull certain fragrances out of storage, and this is definitely one of them. It's Marc Jacobs Oh So Decadent. I live close to the water, and this is very reminiscent of misty spring mornings to me. It has pear and blackcurrant and ivy, magnolia, lily of the valley, and jasmine, raspberry, white amber, and cashmere wood. And there's something very light and hazy about it. Feels like maybe you're out on the moors on a hazy morning or out on the marsh. I don't know, there's just something very magical and very like about it, and I'm super excited to be wearing it again. Another fragrance that I'm really excited to be wearing again is My Way by Giorgio Armani. This is the original EDP version. It's a very floral fragrance, and it is my perfume that I'll often wear on Easter Sunday morning, and it just feels very reminiscent of that to me. It is a floral fragrance with top notes of orange blossom and bergamot. It has tuberose and Indian jasmine in the mid notes, Madagascar vanilla, white musk, and Virginia cedar in the base. And it's another fragrance that's just really made me realize how much I appreciate floral fragrances. So that pretty much sums up my April fragrance tray. I'm super excited for this month and have some real favorites here that I want to try. Thanks so much for sticking by till the end. If you enjoy this type of content, leave a comment below, like it, follow along for more, and you can also follow me over on Instagram at a.fragrant.offering. I post a lot more content over there. Thank you. Have a good day.